Thank you all for joining us today for another exciting round of this championship season. The Yas Marina circuit, just over 3.4 miles long with 21 corners and 2 very long back straights. There are 2 DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 8 and turn 11 and offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners as well, in particular 15, 16 and 17, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. And so, for one final time this season, Anthony Davidson joins me in the commentary box.
Well, the winter break is looming once again. No doubt many of those teams already have their eyes firmly on next season. But there's still work to be done here. Still championship positions to decide, which can make a big difference to the prize money. So no one's going to be taking their foot off the throttle just yet.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Sainz and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Lando Norris and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Here we are for the last time this season, here in 2020. It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton on pole. He's got a brilliant start off the line. In his attempt to win this championship, he just needs to hope Max finishes a 6th or worse. And then Lewis will be champion. Max is battling his teammate. Look at that behind there. That's so close between them. Daniel Kvyat's overtaken both of them. It's Albon. No, it looks like Verstappen might be in front of Albon now. That's incredible racing between the 2 Red Bulls. If anything, Albon really shouldn't be racing Verstappen. No, Albon... Yes, Albon is behind Verstappen. If anything, he really shouldn't be racing Max, as Max is trying to go for that championship. Albon doesn't seem to care, even though Albon... his only real threat today is Daniel Ricciardo, who has the opportunity to overtake him in the championship and take 3rd here in the championship, as Verstappen's on the back of Daniel Kvyat. This is for 5th place, down the inside of Kvyat. Verstappen's back into the championship contention. Great move from Max Verstappen, but we know that Red Bull over 2nd off the Mercedes in qualifying. It's looking incredibly slow today, and Max isn't actually looking that fast. But Daniel Kvyat is looking very quick today. He's looking very racy. As Sebastian Vettel is keeping up with Bottas, Hamilton, on the other hand, is a man on a mission trying to win this championship. And he is pushing like we've never really seen before. I mean, he's pushed very hard this season, of course, to be able to battle for this championship. But Bottas, who looked like he was actually the favorite for the championship at one point this season, is now 100% mathematically out of it, as he's losing so much time to Lewis now. Now they go through here. The interesting thing now will really be between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, as they are the only 2 championship contenders. So Albon is behind Daniel Kvyat. Very disappointing from Albon. After a lackluster season, I mean, he hasn't exactly had the worst season. He does have a podium, a race win, and that he should be pretty proud of, given he was able to defend from Lewis the way he was at Hungary. But we are not at Hungary right now. We are in Abu Dhabi, the championship finale. And the championship is very, very intense coming into this race, as Kvyat is keeping up with Max, which is very interesting. He's not letting Max go, and once the DRS is active, he could very well threaten Max. It's looking like that AlphaTauri is looking mega quick today. As is Kvyat, who hasn't really been that quick this season. He hasn't exactly had too many moments, too many highlight moments, but this race, this qualifying session in this race, he's really showing his speed. As the 2 racing points pretty close further back, as I believe they're still in contention for 5th in the Constructors' Championship, as I believe Renault have sealed 4th with the grid performance by Daniel Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon. Just the consistency and speed of those two has just been incredible, and Renault are fourth in the constructors once again, just like they were in 2018. Now we can see Hamilton still pulling from Bottas. Vettel is closer to Bottas. This could mean Vettel will possibly take second place. It won't really change anything for him. He's quite some ways behind Leclerc in the championship, but it'll at least help him end the season on a high. We know how good the Ferrari is in a straight line. Can he overtake Valtteri? Now onto the straight. DRS is active. He's going to open it up, I believe. Yes, he is, as is Charles Leclerc. Verstappen's losing a lot of time to those cars in front because that Red Bull's just looking really bad today. I mean, it's a surprise because the Red Bull's been relatively quick all throughout the season, but here in Abu Dhabi, once they're back at normal elevation, unlike Mexico and Brazil, it seems like that Red Bull just doesn't seem to have that race-winning pace anymore, or even podium pace, for that matter. As Kvyat he's catching Verstappen. Sorry, he's not catching Verstappen. He's losing time to Verstappen, but he is pulling away a little bit from Alex Albon, which is very, very impressive from Kvyat in this race. Vettel was not able to overtake Bottas, but he's still keeping up with him. And if they start to battle, that'll allow Max to get a bit closer. And if he can get a little bit higher, that'll mean his championship hopes will increase. As of course he isn't in the 5th place he needs to be in, but if he does spin or get a puncture or whatever, he will know championship position that he needs to be in. Ricciardo is very close to Albon here. We know how good that Renault is in a straight line. It's actually the 2nd fastest car, I believe, in a straight line this season. Maybe the 3rd fastest. But either way, it is a very quick car, and it's looking very quick today. As the Racing Points behind Carlos Sainz. I believe both Racing Points have the opportunity to overtake him in the championship today. And they're definitely going to be trying to do that. But Sainz is making a move on Pierre Gasly round the outside, late on the brakes. Look at that. Wait, sorry, that's Lando Norris. My bad. That is Lando Norris making a move round the outside of Pierre Gasly. Super late on the brakes. Incredible overtake from Lando, who's had a pretty lackluster season. I believe he only has 28 points this season. As that's Vettel. Vettel's done it. He's overtaken Valtteri Bottas. That's great for Vettel to move up into 2nd place. And it just shows the Ferrari really is quicker at the end of the season. Those upgrades really have worked well for them, and they seem to have the 2nd quickest car. And had the season gone on a little bit longer, maybe they could have ended the season off with the fastest car. So a good recovery from Ferrari after a pretty disappointing start to the season, but unfortunately it's a little bit too late as Verstappen goes off track there. Verstappen flying along, he's losing time. Actually, I do believe he has light damage to his front wing. Not sure how he got the damage. I do believe he has damage. But I'm not too sure if it's really going to affect his speed. As he's pushing, but those cars in front are just a little bit too quick for him to catch up to. Looks like Albon's still behind Kvyat. He's not really closing in on him. In fact, Ricciardo is closing in more on Albon. Unfortunately, since Albon is still in that DRS of Kvyat, it's not allowing Ricciardo to get close enough to really make an overtake, as Sainz is still in front of the Racing Points, trying to get the best possible position today to maximize his points and position in this championship, as he is leaving McLaren at the end of the 2020 season for Ferrari. Vettel in his final race for Ferrari, looking to take a nice second place before he moves to Aston Martin next season. Ocon is keeping up with Ricciardo. He's not really quick enough to overtake him, but he's keeping up with him. And it looks like there's really the Racing Points and McLaren's are in a bit of a sandwich here, as it's Sainz, Perez, Stroll, and Norris. The four have been fighting a lot this season, not only in the championship, but even on track, and we've seen some incredible overtakes between them, and hopefully we can see a little bit more of that in this race, as Latifi is way down in last place, as Hamilton is just pulling away. He's properly dominating this race, and he really wants to win that championship. He's going fast slap, going for everything today, and he's giving it everything he's got. He really does not give up. Championship gap, I believe, is 18 points. It is a pretty big gap, as Charles Leclerc is having a look at Bottas. Even though Bottas has DRS, we know how quick that Ferrari is in straight line, and it's allowing him to get really close to Valtteri Bottas. And that will make it a Ferrari 2-3. Here he is on the back of Bottas. Can he make this work in the slipstream? Bottas has DRS too. It's going to be difficult. Can he pull it off? No, he's too far back. Unfortunate for Charles Leclerc, who's looking to take that final podium position. And Max Verstappen is just so far back. He's not even pulling away from Kvyat. And Albon can't even overtake Kvyat. So really, Red Bull are struggling today with their speed. I'm not sure where they're really losing it. Here it says they're losing most of their time in Sector 2. But really, I think they just don't have the car to compete. Leclerc still pushing in his Ferrari, as there goes Bottas and Leclerc into the pits. Vettel has not pit. Vettel shows not to pit. Into the pits goes Max Verstappen, all pitting. Verstappen loses the back end coming into the pits there. And Kvyat's actually much closer to him now. It looks like Verstappen really was struggling with tire wear. Here he comes into the pits. And it does look like they're actually going to be doing a front wing change, because damage, it looks like it's been slowing him down more than we thought, and he's lost places. He's out of the championship position he needs to be in. He's behind Carlos Sainz now, I believe, and he's in front of the Racing Point at least, but he's behind Kvyat and Sainz and the Renault of I believe that's Daniel Ricciardo. And that's a crushing blow to Verstappen's championship. I don't think that was necessary to change that front wing, but if it really was costing him that much speed, or if it was really that difficult to drive, maybe it was worth it. He's going to have to really push. Maybe with the new wing, he can really try and catch those cars in front, but his pace hasn't exactly been amazing. He's all over the back of Sainz. He really wants to get back up now. He knows Lewis is in the lead. Oh, Kvyat is some ways up the road. He's really going to have to push. There they go down the straight. Opening up the DRS, I believe. Yes, he does. I don't think Sainz has DRS. This is going to give Verstappen the opportunity to overtake him. Sainz goes defensive. Verstappen to the outside. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? Max goes super late on the brakes. Round the outside. Squeezes Sainz on the apex. And he's made it work. Max Verstappen moves up into, I think, 16th place now. But that is a provisional 7th place, I think. I'm not too sure. As Ricciardo is closing on Kvyat, just showing how quick Ricciardo has been this race and how Albon's been kind of holding him back. But that just shows the Red Bull might not actually be as good as the Renault, and that could be a real problem for Max later in this race. And Albon's coming through the final corner. Into the pits he goes with, I think that's Esteban Ocon. That is so unfortunate for Max's. Always, I don't know if they changed the wing or what, because he's being held on the pits and he's lost places, he's lost time, he's behind the Racing Points now. He's lost so much time. Both Red Bulls getting screwed over in the pits. Unbelievable scenes here in Abu Dhabi, but now Verstappen's giving it everything he's got. He really has to, if he wants to try and win his first ever Formula 1 World Championship, while Hamilton is trying to win his 7th Formula 1 World Championship. I believe he's broken the win record, the podium record, and the pole record. Well, he wrote the pole record back in 2017. He's trying to break all the records this season, but Max is trying to break the record for the youngest world champion. Can he do it? He's going to have to really push. He is catching the Renault because Kvyat isn't really that quick on these mediums, and it's allowing Verstappen to close right into that Renault of Daniel Ricciardo, his former teammate. Is Ricciardo going to maybe let Verstappen through? Him and they are pretty good friends. It doesn't look like it. Verstappen's quite some ways back. Look at how late. Round the outside. Surely not. He went so late on the brakes there, Max Verstappen. He's really pushing this race. And this could lead to a spin or a broken front wing. I don't think Max cares. He wants that championship. He's so hungry for it. He's worked so hard this season, dealt with the pressure better than most drivers would. To fight Lewis Hamilton the way he has been incredible. And when it comes down to it, he's just been giving it everything this season. And I would say he deserves this championship. But at the same time, so does Lewis Hamilton. He's driven a stunning season. Both of them have. Here he is on the back of Ricciardo. He's got some great pace now. Verstappen on these harder tires with the fixed front wing. He really wants to pass Danny Rick. He's so close to him. Maybe Red Bull thought that it would be safer to replace the front wing, and they trusted Max's ability to overtake. And look at how much he's gaining through these corners. He's all over the back of Ricciardo, trying to get the best possible exit. Ricciardo's going to have the straight line advantage because of Kvyat. But maybe Max, if he can maybe use the overtake button or what, he can somehow find a way past Danny Ricciardo. Ricciardo's on the back of Kvyat. He's going to have a look. No, he's a bit too far back, as is Verstappen. Look at how much time Verstappen's lost on that straight to Ricciardo, but he gains it all back in the braking zone through these corners. This is for the championship. He's 2 places away from his championship. He really needs to get past these guys now, or Lewis Hamilton will be the world champion. And that looks like Charles Leclerc on the back of Bottas, but down the inside goes Max Verstappen. What an overtake from way back. Maybe Ricciardo might have let him through or something, but that was an incredible move from Max Verstappen to get up into 6th place. Next up is 5th place for Kvyat, who that would be an incredible way to end off the season for him, but Max needs to overtake him if he wants to win this championship. Will AlphaTauri have to let the Red Bull through? Even if he does, I don't think Kvyat would want to let Max through, simply because of their history. But either way, it looks like there's a VSC out. Not too sure why. There is a VSC out. Not entirely sure why. And I don't think it's really going to help anyone. But maybe if Max can get a good exit, that would allow him to really get a move on Kvyat. He already made a move once on him. Can he do it again? Max is not going to be too happy with the Red Bull team who made that mistake on that pit wall, but he's all over the back. He's taking these different lines, trying to find some extra grip, trying to get out of that dirty air, and trying just every trick in the book at the moment to get past Daniel Kvyat. Here they go, down the straight. And they might actually still be under the virtual safety car, so I might have made a mistake. It looked like they were racing, but that might have just been Max going a bit racy. No, the green flags are out. Green flags are definitely out now. On the back of Kvyat. He's going down this straight. Here he is on the back of Daniel. Oh, he's going to be tight. He's going to have to really make this move. Kvyat goes a bit defensive. Verstappen on the back. Max Verstappen sends it down the inside. This is going to be super tight. Down the inside. It's a world championship position. He goes. 5th place. Max Verstappen back in the championship. Back up into 5th place. And he's done it again. Max Verstappen, he's way back, way behind the Ferraris and of course Bottas, and he's even further behind Lewis. But at least for him, he is into that championship position. And this would be Red Bull's first championship since 2013. It would be Verstappen's first championship ever. And it would be the youngest Formula One world champion. We're witnessing a record-breaking season here. Can Max do it? Can he overtake? Can he hold 5th place? He's pulling away from Kvyat, so it looks like that front wing damage might have been a lot worse than we really saw on the cameras. Because his pace is looking quite quick as Ricciardo's on the back of Kvyat, but we are still following Max because we are witnessing a driver that could win a championship at, I believe, 20, 30 years of age, I think. joined Formula One 5 years ago in 2015 at the age of 17. And now here he is in 2020 looking to win his first Formula One World Championship. At the moment he would only win it by 2 points, which is incredibly close. And fighting Lewis Hamilton over a championship season is no easy task, as he goes very close to that wall there. Could have cost him his front wing. He really can't make some kind of stupid mistake now. Just has to keep it together. He's pulling away from Kvyat. He shouldn't be too worried about the cars behind. Looks like he might actually be catching the cars in front. I think he is. His pace on these mediums are pretty incredible. As he goes off track there. He's giving it everything. I'm surprised he's pushing so hard. I would have, if it were me in the car, I wouldn't have really pushed too hard, as Vettel is pulling away from Bottas quite a lot here, but Bottas is pulling from Leclerc, so it doesn't look like Charles is really, yeah, he's out of the DRS. I don't think Charles will be able to pass Bottas after all, which is unfortunate, but here we are. Look at Lewis, he's so far ahead of everyone. He really wants to win that 7th title. He's got the fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately, at the moment for him, that is still not enough. 26 points is not enough to win this championship. Had he gotten 28, he would be a world champion. Of course, at moments like this, you look back at older races like Austria, where he completely destroyed his race after crashing to the back of Kvyat. As you can see, Sergio Perez is actually overtaking both McLarens there, and Stroll is looking like he might overtake Sainz now. Yes, it is Perez, Sainz, then Stroll. Looks like the Racing Point is pretty quick in the race today. Just in qualifying wasn't too good, and that's not Norris behind. That is Alex Albon, who's had a shocking pit stop situation, and now he's trying to come back from it. And actually, Danny Ricciardo being in front of him might actually have a chance at beating Albon in the championship, and that would be horrific for Albon to lose to a Renault in the championship. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But if Ricciardo can somehow get a good position, if Albon gets a bit worse luck, it's very much possible that Ricciardo will beat Albon in the championship, as Albon is all over the back of Stroll. Stroll's all over the back of Sainz. Can anyone overtake anyone on this next straight? Here we are. Through the hairpin on the acceleration. There goes Stroll in that Mercedes engine. He's on the back of Sainz. Can he make this work? Opening up the DRS now. Flying down this straight. Oh, he's a bit too far back. He's looking to the outside. Can he have a look down the inside? No, he can't. He holds back. That's a little bit disappointing from Lance. I was hoping maybe he could go for a good overtake there. But either way, he's got the next straight to open up that DRS. Maybe he didn't want Sainz to get the DRS in the next straight. Here he goes. Down this straight. Can he make it work this time around? I'm not too sure. No, he could not go for it. Disappointing that he couldn't just send it. That's an Alfa Romeo. That is an Alfa Romeo up in the points, I think. Still on board with that beautiful orange McLaren. Now the question is, can Stroll overtake him this time around? It looks like he's even further back. Still very close, but given he couldn't make it work last time around, not sure if he can do it this time. I'm surprised, really. That Mercedes engine is better than the Renault one. Maybe he has a bit more drag on the car today, and it really is looking like it because he's got no straight line speed. Oh no, he does actually, because here he goes around the outside, Sainz is on the inside, they're side by side, back down the inside goes Stroll, and now they're still side by side. Sainz is going to come back at Stroll. What a battle between these two. It's like Grosjean and at Stroll. Back in 2017, here goes Albon around the outside of both of them. Sainz down the inside, Albon's around the outside. Can Albon make this work? A double overtake from Alex Albon. What a move. What a move from Albon. What an incredible overtake. What an incredible move from Alex Albon. That's the second double overtake of the season he's made. You're on the final lap of the race too. Alex Albon has overtaken both of them, but Max Verstappen is just about the 2020 Formula One World Champion. Here they come all across the line.
Unbelievable, Max. Unbelievable. Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion! Well done, enjoy it!
Victory today then, but bittersweet emotions, I'm sure, as the championship slips through their fingers. Even so, what a fantastic final race of the season this was. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day? The Constructors' Championship may be a foregone conclusion at the moment, but regardless, let's look at the standings. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.